Hello, and welcome to our second in six information sessions on the topic of industrial hemp for Indigenous businesses. In this information session, we will be talking about the different products you can make with industrial hemp, how the agriculture of hemp influences the environment, and growing hemp in Canada. These information sessions are brought to you by the Indigenous Chamber of Commerce of Ontario in partnership with the Tequah-Tagamu Nation of New Post Reserve. My name is Keith Wilson, and I would like to talk today about the agriculture of industrial hemp. As we saw in the previous presentation, hemp has been grown for centuries. Many civilizations have recognized the vast range by which the hemp plant can be used. Over time, many of these ideas and processes have been scattered or have been passed down only through hemp farming families. We have to relearn the old agricultural practices and update them using modern farming technology and methods. We can do things quicker and more efficiently now that we have combines and balers. Historically, hemp was a vitally important crop prior to the Industrial Revolution due to the many products used in an agricultural society. Let's talk a little bit about those products. The keystone products that were made with industrial hemp were the ropes, clothing, tents, sails, tarps, and twines. Products made with hemp are strong and durable and were in demand and in wide usage. These were the motivating factors that spurred worldwide hemp cultivation. So what are the motivating factors to grow hemp in our post-agricultural and even post-industrial society? Let's take a closer look at the more modern side of the industrial hemp product sphere. Here are some more modern uses of industrial hemp. Some of these might surprise you, because the more our team investigated, the more we understood that the list goes on and on and on. Clothes, soap, creams, beer, diapers, bricks, pellets, food, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, car parts, and so on. We are rediscovering the products of long ago, such as ropes and tarps, and new products are constantly being developed, like soap and cosmetics, that utilize the unique properties of the industrial hemp plant. In various areas of the world, hemp has been an almost continuous cultivation. Recently, Europe has been in the forefront of the hemp industry. Because of North America's prohibition on cannabis, Europe was able to maintain this lead in hemp agriculture. Now, with the relaxing of the prohibition laws regarding cannabis, cultivation of industrial hemp is being revived in North America. Here in North America, the environment has also become of primary concern. So how does industrial hemp affect the environment? We will talk more about how the processing of hemp can be beneficial to the environment in the sessions to come. But today, I'd like to talk about the environmental benefits of simply growing industrial hemp. Our team found out that industrial hemp is beneficial to the planet, not only in terms of fossil fuels, but also in terms of greenhouse gases. Hemp cultivation is widely beneficial to the environment because it grows very fast and consumes a lot of carbon dioxide. More specifically, industrial hemp sequesters the carbon dioxide. This means that the hemp plant locks the carbon into its cell structure, removing it from the air, soil, and other parts of the environment. This is very important because the hemp crop can be grown quickly and is renewable, which means more and more of this carbon dioxide can be removed from the environment every season. Monetary incentives to recognize and promote the sequestration of carbon as a climate change initiative are presently being developed. The government is currently funding the development of new ways to sequester carbon, or in other words, to take carbon dioxide out of our environment. Not only is hemp farming one of those methods, but all types of farming, and the various crops are too. Hemp sequesters quite a large amount of CO2 due to its rapid growth, which makes it a perfect candidate for this project. This may result in additional revenue streams for hemp farmers. There are more benefits to growing hemp other than taking the carbon out of the air. Another thing to remember is that hemp cultivation usually requires no herbicide and little pesticides. The reason for no herbicides is because the canopy of the fast-growing plant shields the ground from any sunlight. Therefore, no weeds will grow. The industrial hemp plants are fairly tough competitors for the sunlight, and the weeds simply don't make it. Fertilizer needs are similar to a grain crop, such as winter. So now we know that industrial hemp has many uses and is good for the environment. So how do we grow it in Canada? Canada, with its recent legalization of high THC hemp, i.e. cannabis, is leading the way to accept once again the industrial hemp cultivation industry, or the industrial hemp agribusiness sector. There are new laws and regulations in place to monitor this growing sector, which are important to know about if you are interested in farming industrial hemp in Canada, or more specifically, Ontario. In Canada, this industrial hemp must only be grown from seeds approved by the federal government through Health Canada. You must buy new seeds every season. You're not allowed to sow the seeds from your own harvest. The seeds come from certified growers from across the country and are closely regulated to ensure the pedigrees or genetics are tracked. These approved seeds will ensure that the hemp contains less than 0.3% THC, and ingestion of this amount will have no effect on the human nervous system. The THC level in cannabis can be hundreds of times higher. Growing industrial hemp in Canada requires a federal license and comes with random inspections of the crop that will be performed to ensure that these minimal THC levels are being maintained. Non-compliance will result in immediate crop harvesting and destruction, which basically means that if you don't follow the rules, you won't be allowed to keep the crop. That being said, there are many different industrial hemp seeds to choose from that are provided by these certified suppliers. The approved seeds are referred to as approved cultivars. Different seeds or cultivars will produce different strains of industrial hemp plants. We will talk more about these different strains and seeds in the next information session. For now, we will go over the special conditions in Ontario and Northern Ontario. New strains of hemp are constantly being developed and researched here and in Europe. Strains more suitable for northern climates are also becoming available. Hemp only requires a short growing season, with the plants reaching maturity in 90 to 120 days. Hemp is frost resistant and can survive where other plants cannot. Normally, hemp is planted when the soil temperature reaches 6 to 8 degrees centigrade. In northern Ontario, this would probably be in late May, with harvesting taking place in September. Further processing in the field may be required. Northern Ontario has large tracts of underutilized farming areas which, depending on soil conditions, may be suitable for hemp farming. The soil should be a well-drained and uncompacted loamy clay mixture with a pH of 7 to 7.5. Different hemp seeds or strains result in specific plant characteristics. A crop planted for a seed harvest will have different seeds, different planting and harvesting techniques, and different post-harvest processing than a crop planted for harvesting the fiber. So let's talk a little bit about each of those. The hemp plant is a bisexual plant, meaning that there are both male and female plants. There are also methods of farming the hemp plants to produce more seeds or produce more fiber. Let's talk about how to produce more seeds first. If a crop is put in with the plants at normal spacing, they will be shorter and bushier with a bountiful production of flowers and seeds. These seed plants are harvested later in the season, and there is a buildup of lignin in the stem, making the fiber more difficult to process. Lignin is the chemical binder in cellulose. There will need to be two cuts. The machine you use, the harvester combine, needs to be raised high for the first cut and lowered for the second cut. The first cut is for the seeds. The second cut is for the stalks, the rest of the plant. But what about harvesting fiber-only plants? Like I've mentioned before, farming industrial hemp plants for more fiber is a little different. If the plants are put in closer together, they grow much taller, and the fiber is of a higher quality. The plant is harvested earlier with a single cut before the flowering stage and the buildup of lignin. Then the stems are retted, which means that the chopped plants are left in the field rotting to soften the stems for processing. This normally only takes a few days or even a week. The stems are then baled for storage or transportation. There are hybrid seeds that allow for both seed and fiber to be harvested, but they usually yield less seeds than a seed-only plant and or poor quality fiber than the fiber-only plant. In both cases, the plant tops, leaves, and roots can be plowed back into the soil, so nothing goes to waste. In both cases, the seeds or the baled fiber must be stored in a dry location after the harvest. A successful operation depends on a number of factors, all working together to produce a beautiful industrial hemp crop, with the primary wisdom being that you do not plant anything before knowing that the crop is sold. This means that if you are interested and are planning to get into the hemp agribusiness sector, it is important to know who will be buying the crop once it has been harvested before you plant the crop or purchase the seeds. This is to help you avoid a loss of your investment. It is also important to note that industrial hemp can be used as a rotational crop and can be planted in the same field multiple times in a row. The product you want to end up with determines the type of seed you choose. How you space the plants, it decides the harvesting techniques you'll use, the post-harvest processing methods, and the transportation choices you will make. Each one of these areas is specific to the end product you're aiming for, so naturally, each area will have different costs associated with it. It is also important to note that there are groups of end products that all use fiber-only plants and groups that all use seed-only plants, which means if you want to grow hemp to sell for clothing, you can also sell the harvest to construction supply companies and insulation companies and so on. These costs and profitability will be addressed in future workshops. Then the viability or feasibility of the proposed venture will be determined. Thank you so much for joining me today to talk about the agriculture of hemp for our second of 6 information sessions. Hopefully, you now know a little bit more about the different products you can make with industrial hemp, about the environmental benefits of growing hemp, and about the rules surrounding hemp farming in Canada. These information sessions are brought to you by the team at ICCO in partnership with the Te Kwa Tagamu Nation. My name is Keith Wilson. Thanks again for joining, and stay tuned for the third session, which will be about industrial hemp seeds.